Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. This is one of our most exciting nights of our entire program. This is the night where we get to introduce our amazing participants to our employer partners, two of which are here tonight. So Vianne is here from the Toro company, and Morgan is here from Japs-Olson Printing. And they are going to talk about their organization, their culture, some of their hiring practices, and also just we're going to have a really informal panel. So you can all ask them questions based on everything that you've learned in the last 9 weeks that will help you be competitive in the job market. So I am going to start sharing the slides. And we are going to start with a little bit of housekeeping like we always do. Let me just get into slide mode here. All right. Okay, can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so AJ, I think the first part of this is yours.
Yes. So, hello everyone. Welcome back. I hope you're doing great. So, before we start with this session today, I'll go through some housekeeping stuff quickly and we'll let Lisa continue with this session. First of all, we're recording this session. Just want to let you know that, and we would love you to be on camera, and that would help us to build community. And about the assessments, 4 people have filled out the survey from the corporate culture part 2. And I forgot to put the assessment link for the interview negotiating offer session, which is my bad, in the follow-up email. So I'm going to embed the interview and negotiating offers link in the follow-up email tomorrow. I also put it in the future slides. So as we have in the next slide, we had a post work for you guys to find 2 good people to review your resume. Has anyone done it? For some participants, there was a need to create a resume from scratch, while for some participants like Marco, Mirwais, and some others, their resumes were fantastic already. Did anyone give you their insights on whether your resume represented your potential, or maybe they gave you some tips on that? So does anybody has anything to share about these?
I saw some people nodding their heads. So Marco, I'm going to call on you because I saw you nodding your head. Can you share how it's been?
That's great. Yeah, actually, my resume has actually been looked at by several people, and it was pretty much transformed since what I had last year to what it is now. I worked a lot with Kristen to get it to where it is right now. Plus, I had a good friend help get it to where it is, where basically Kristen just said like, well, we don't need to do much of it because it's already pretty good. So yeah, no, I gotta thank my friends and Kristen to how my resume is now.
Well, thank you. And Kristen is a new resume coach, although I worked with her. So this is another testament around networking. So Marco's coach, I worked with her at Kohl's Corporation in 2014, you guys. So someone do the math on that. And she recently reached out to me to network because she lost her job at Wayfair due to downsizing, and she was looking for volunteer work. And I said, oh my gosh, we have this amazing cohort of people, and we have more people than resume coaches. And so she said, I'll be a resume coach. So that's just a little story about how powerful relationships, like maintain those relationships when you start them, and don't be shy about starting new relationships. Who else wants to share? Because I feel like we're learning a lot from each other in just sharing our experiences. All right, we're going to be shy tonight. Don't be shy when we get to our employers and their Q&A.
I was just going to ask if people felt a little nervous to bring it to people to ask for their feedback, because sometimes it's a little hard to ask somebody for their feedback, but it's usually so helpful. I was just curious if people felt a little nervous about that.
Yeah, I might as well talk since I'm already talking. Yeah, actually, it was really only because my friend told me, other than me asking him, he was like, "Hey, you're working on this resume. Like, I can just take a look at it and see if we can improve it." So it was his proactiveness rather than mine, because yeah, otherwise I probably would have never engaged. So yeah, yeah, it is hard for sure. It's hard.
Yeah, that's a great question, Vianne, because it's you on a page, right? So to ask someone to give you feedback that you're making yourself vulnerable. But the other thing is, you don't have to incorporate anyone's feedback. It is your document. So getting a few opinions and evaluations is helpful, and then you decide what you want to do with it. All right, anyone else want to share how the resume coach experience has gone?
Okay.
Carlos, you've got your hand raised. Yes.
Hi everyone. Hope you're fine. Yeah, I'm working with Christine as well. I have had a couple of meetings to meet up, and for me, I think the resume has been an opportunity for evaluating what I have done in my past as a worker or employee or my professional career. So it has been kind of an opportunity to highlight some achievements I haven't done. And also realize my profession, like a reflection of my professional practice, what have been my achievement, what have done less. So either way it has been very good experience, like with this time having a coach and having this consultant as an advisor. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Well, we will keep moving here. So tonight we have two amazing employer partners, the Toro company, which actually has a really great number of companies as kind of a, Vianne, you're going to have to help me with the right terminology, but they're a parent company for
Yeah, we're the Toro company, and we have 16 unique different brands underneath the Toro company. And so even when I started, I had no idea. So so this might come as a surprise to people, but yeah, there's a lot of pretty, in some cases, known in other parts of the United States, really well-known companies that live under the Toro company umbrella.
And the cool thing about the Toro company is that your recruiting, with the exception of one organization, is all centralized here in Minnesota. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're geographically dispersed, but the centralization is here in Minnesota.
So basically, you guys, that means when you get to know Vianne and her recruiting organization, everything you see on the screen is areas of exploration for you in terms of employment. And then Morgan is with us tonight from Japs-Olson, very over 100-year-old printing company. And we're gonna introduce Vianne and Morgan in a little more detail here on the next page. And then they're going to talk about their organizations and their culture and what kinds of job opportunities they have. And some of these might apply to you as professionals, and some of them may even apply to family members or friends that are looking for more entry level or manufacturing positions. So kind of keep an open mind tonight, because both of these employers have a very broad spectrum of really good opportunities. And I don't know if we've talked about this before, but Prosperity Ready is very particular about the employers that we partner with. And so we make sure that our employer partners offer very safe environments, and they offer environments that are flexible in terms of different needs and benefits that people may have. And they offer career advancement as well. So please know that these are amazing employers who have good opportunities. And I know for the Toro company, they hired a participant from our last cohort, and Japs-Olson has hired many Afghanistan employees, among other different immigrant community members. So both are very aware of what it takes to help our immigrant community members be successful. So Vianne is the Director of Talent Acquisition for the Toro Company. She and her team are responsible for hiring a wide range of positions, including manufacturing, assembly, engineering, finance, information technology, and more. She champions reaching a pool of candidates with diverse backgrounds and experiences. Vianne joined the Toro Company after a long career in financial services. She has a BA in English and speech communication from the U of M and a master's in education from the U of M. And Morgan is Senior Talent Acquisition Specialist for Japs-Olson. And she too has a great background in human resources. She's been with Japs-Olson for almost 2 years at this point. She spent 1.5 years as a business development specialist for Express Employment Professionals International Headquarters. So that international experience is really helpful and important. And she was a human resources assistant at Kansas Geological Survey. So these are the amazing talent acquisition professionals that you have in front of you tonight. And I hope everybody's done their homework and is ready to ask good questions about both of these organizations. So with that, we would love for all of you to introduce yourselves. So I know in the past we haven't been doing introductions because it's been a jam-packed agenda, but we felt like tonight was really important to carve out time to make introductions. So AJ, I'm going to turn this over to you to kind of call on people, since I've got the presentation up, so my grid of everybody isn't showing at one time. So
Okay.
if you wouldn't mind calling on people to share their name, degree, and your career aspiration. And if you're not sure yet, because you're not completely through the program about your career aspiration, you could share your country of origin, or maybe what you're looking for. We talked about this in the 2 culture sessions, what you're looking for in a culture. So doesn't have to be formal at all, but for sure name and degree, and then any other information you want to add. But make sure we're brief so that everybody has time to introduce themselves.
Well, that's great. So the first person which I see is Marco Mejia. Marco, would you like to share?
Sure thing, yeah. So my name is Marco Mejia. I am a mechanical engineer, currently a senior project engineer at Polaris Industries. I've been working for Polaris for the past 12 years now, 6 of them in Minnesota, actually. My career aspiration, I guess, I've been in power sports for quite some time now, so I'm looking to broaden my experiences and trying to find out some new opportunities that I can get into if possible.
That's great, Marco. So next I see Carlos.
Hi, My name is Carlos Rodriguez. I have my background is architecture and urban planning. I have experience in both areas, both fields. Yeah, I would like to improve my knowledge and my professional experience in both architecture and urban planning here in the US.
Thank you, Carlos. Next, we have our friend in Germany, Stanislav. Stanislav, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Stanislav. I am from Ukraine. I have a degree in law, master's degree, but I worked in Ukraine for IT company in management for 15 years, so I have plenty of experience. About my inspiration, I think I want to be in the management, top management. Thank you.
You're welcome. I see you next, Mirwais John. Mirwais, would you like to share?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Ahmad. My name is Mirwais Nasri. I am from Afghanistan. I have more than 10 years of experience in strategic communication, media, and public outreach. I had been working in Afghanistan in different sectors. I started my working journey in media agencies and then went to civil society organization, nonprofit, and then moved to government. So since last 10 years in Afghanistan, I had been working there as a strategic communication expert in different areas. So yeah, I came to the United States last year, September, and since that, I'm living now in Buffalo, New York. And my career aspiration is to scale up my career development here in the United States and find my desired job in strategic communication or any relevant position that could fulfill my career development, especially in strategic communication and public outreach. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mirwais John. Charity Bilal, could you share?
Buddy, and thank you, ladies, for coming here to present to us. My name is Charity Bilal. I have a degree in business administration as well as a master's in healthcare administration. And my career aspirations would be to one day manage a hospital or run a hospital. Big goals, I know.
Yeah,
But
that's
thank you.
great. So next we have Rina Lopez.
Hi, everybody. My name is Reina Lopez. I'm from Mexico, and I have a law degree and education master degree. And my career aspiration is working nonprofit. I have experience with different nonprofit developing different programs and different fundraising. Thank you.
You're welcome, Rina. Tarek?
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Tarek Elegamo, and I'm originally from Ethiopia, East Africa. And I have had experience of higher institutions, especially college education. I used to be a lecturer in economics, and my areas of experience are like statistical analysis, data modeling, and working with big and survey data, qualitative research, quantitative and qualitative research, and then using different statistical software applications, and also tutoring students, and research and development are my area of interest. And then my future interests is also research and development, project management, NGOs, and also industry, higher institution, just cooperation, like especially environmental modeling. My degree is like I have bachelor degree in economics and financial economics. I have also master's degree in financial economics, and then I have also further degree in areas of environmental modeling at PhD level. Now I'm looking specifically research and development. That's my area of interest for my future career. Thank you.
Thank you, Tariq Lagamo. So next I see Bainazar Nazari. Bainazar, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for career and ladies and gentlemen inviting to join this meeting. I'm so happy tonight this meeting. My name is Bainazar Nazari. I have a Master Business Administration degree and value to United States. Specifically, my background, experience background is at the Ministry of Economy, and also at the university and news agency and business company. Three sections. So if I want to say about my all experience, I think I need a long time, but I want to talk shortly. I have a strong experience about the communication coordination and communication management, public policy developers, and updating website, writing news, so teaching marketing research and international business. And also I look for a job for administration area, like business development planning and business coordination and communications, policy developers, and teachings. If I find this area opportunity, I will select it.
Thank you so much, Bainazar.
You're welcome.
So next we have Eden Glades or Eden Gladys. Please correct me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong.
Thank you. It's Kiden Gladys.
Okay. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Nice to meet you all. My name is Kiden Gladys. I am from South Sudan. South Sudan is one of the youngest nations in Africa. It gained its independence from Sudan after a long conflict in 2011. I hold a master's degree in sustainable development practice. And prior to that, I had my bachelor's degree in adult and community education from Makerere University. And I am a community development specialist, passionate about community-based project management, service delivery to clients, as well working with all stakeholders to ensure that society receives a change as well as service that they deserve. My career aspiration is to join the world of practitioners. Having grown up as a refugee in Uganda for my entire life, I would like to use my experience, my career as well, to contribute and bring a holistic change to the world, if possible, putting an end to refugee life. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Eden. Next, we have Zahidullah Zahid.
Thank you, Ahmad. Do you hear clear? Do you hear clear or no?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Zahid from Afghanistan, and I hold master degree from Rome Tor Vergata University, and I have bachelor in biological science. I have more than 9 years experience in the field of chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear safety and security, with operation in all other safety and security management aspects. And I also have a great experience related to the international and also with the multinational environment. with a safety car and seeking for a role where I can share my leadership and technical experience with the organizations, and particularly in preparedness, protections, response, and recovery, or emergency management. Thank you.
You're welcome, Sahid. Next, I see Seten Mikonen. Seten, could you introduce yourself?
Thank you. I'm Satang Makonnen. I'm from Ethiopia. I graduated Bachelor of Science Nursing degree. I have 7 years experience. Head nurse organization, the clinic, and give patient medication administration and our control staff report the health institution, the regional station and the federal station report to the patients, chronic patient and chronic patient in the report to federal and government.
Satan, this is Lisa. We're having a little trouble hearing you, and I know you're probably at work right now. Are you able to type a few things into the chat, and either AJ or I could read those so that our employer partners can hear your introduction? We see your name. They know your degree because we sent that out, but if you could maybe just type a few sentences about your background and what you're looking for in terms of your career, then we can make that available to our employer partners, because there's a little bit of background noise, which we completely understand. I know that all of us have many obligations that take us to different places throughout the day. Does that sound
That's great? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, because we had a hard time hearing her. Okay, so next we have Atifa Tavasuli. Atifa, could you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, my name is Atifa Tawasuli and I'm a medical degree graduate from Afghanistan. Looking forward to do my residency in America, and I have work experience in human resource management, in media, and also working as a clinical doctor for a while. So what I really prefer to do in America as a job would be something like a medical pathway, mostly near to being a doctor. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Atifa. Next, I see Farzana. Farzana, could you introduce yourself?
My name is Farzana. I am from Afghanistan. I graduated from economy faculty. Now I am housewife and I will continue my study.
Well, thank you so much. And finally, I see Beketa. Beketa, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Bekera. I came from Ethiopia, East Africa. I have a bachelor degree in architecture, and I also have an experience of serving Department of Architecture as an assistant lecturer. And I have my master's degree in urban planning from Norwegian University of Science and Technology based in Norway. At NTNU. So I also did my part of exchange program here in USA at Chatham University, which is the university known as Sustainability University. My career aspiration is to be community development director and working in economic and development sector or other public work department to use my experience of architecture and urban planning to work on the problem and economic challenges of the community and do my part in forward growth of the community and the whole country. Thank you.
You're welcome, Biketa. Lisa, I believe everybody introduced themselves.
Thank you, everyone. That was amazing. And I can see on the faces of our employer partners that they are impressed. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but they were making many, many notes. So we are going to turn it over to Vianne to talk with us about the Toro company. And Vianne, when you're ready for me to move to the next slide, just let me know. And then for Morgan, she's going to share her slides. So we'll have a little bit of a transition there, but
Yes.
Vianne, take it away.
And Lisa, just so that I don't talk for far too long, because I am capable of doing that, just kind of give me a sense of how long you want me to do the quick overview.
Well, it's 6:35, so 15-20 minutes. I don't think we ever go longer than that. And we go till 8, and then if people, I would love to have Q&A with everyone, because this is just an amazing group, and I'm hoping they have lots of good questions for you and Morgan after. But yeah, I mean, if we
I just want to make sure we have time for the questions, because after hearing everybody's introductions and all of your experiences so far and your aspirations, it's you know, what a fantastic group. And yes, I did take a whole bunch of notes. And before I get started, I will say that even as we're talking about the Toro company and the things that the Toro company offers in terms of types of roles, the thing that I would love to say too is, while maybe some of your aspirations are not things that the Toro company has, I might know somebody or have an idea of a good person to network with, or, you know, as you continue this process and network with people, there might be some connections and things that I'd be happy to make for you. So after this presentation, if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to take time to visit with you about roles at the Toro company, but also if you see in my network somebody that's in your line of work, you know, somebody that I see Charity on the little panel on my screen. So if there's somebody in my network that's currently running a hospital that I can connect you to or something like that, just please know that I'm just going to throw that out there as an opportunity. I'm happy to connect, whether you see jobs at the Toro company or not. So just putting that out there before I get started. Go ahead, Lisa, you can advance the slide. I thought I would just do, and I think the video will come up, but this is just a 3-minute video. It really sort of encapsulates who we are at the Toro company, things that even when I started my job, I didn't actually know, which is kind of a long story, but things that I learned very quickly about the Toro company and who we are and all of the brands that we have. So I'll just, if you just want to play the video.
Toro company. Our guiding principles shape everything we do, every decision we make.
Is there a way to increase the volume, Lisa?
It stems from our long history. Founded in 19... American heartland, the Toro company was built on a tradition of quality. Early on, we became known as an innovator of golf course equipment, a reputation which led to growth and expansion into new markets, from residential products to irrigation solutions. From the very beginning, our founders believed in the power of developing caring relationships. Our deep-rooted relationships with customers is unique. We listen carefully, and their feedback sparks innovative solutions. And because of our commitment to superior customer care, Our products are regularly seen caring for renowned landscapes and venues worldwide. That same deep understanding of customer needs also extends to the underground construction market, where we proudly have a family of leading brands that are trusted by top professionals around the globe. Our focus on caring relationships also connects us with our communities, and it
I think we're losing the video, so we can just go ahead and advance to the next slide, Lisa.
I'm sorry, could you guys not hear that?
It stopped, we lost it a little bit in the middle. So rather than try to fight with the technology, it's out on YouTube. Y'all can go out and look at it and see, watch a little bit more and learn a little bit more. But what I want you to know about the Toro company is one of the things that we really truly believe in terms of our purpose is to help our customers enrich the beauty, productivity, and sustainability of the land. And if you take a look on the Toro company website, you'll see our sustainability report. And so a lot of you talked about things related to development and sustainability and things like that. And as a company, we have a really deep commitment to those things as well. So we have 3 sustainability pillars that we follow. It's people and process and one other one. So, but as you check out our sustainability report, you'll take a look at that. Our vision is to be the most trusted leader in solutions for the outdoor environment. And many of you may have seen some of our solutions even throughout the world, right? So here in Minnesota, we're of course most known for our brand, the Toro company. You'll see the little red square shield. You'll see at Home Depot, you'll see Toro products, lawnmowers and snowblowers. But if you were a groundskeeper at a golf course, you would see many, many pieces of Toro equipment. If you were a professional landscape contractor, you would see and have a bunch of Exmark equipment. If you were somebody who was responsible for snow and ice management, you would see, and we here in Minnesota have seen multitudes of Boss snowplows over the last several months. So there's, really big products that people have seen. So we want to be a leader in those solutions for the outdoor environment. And we want to deliver, our mission is to deliver superior innovation and superior customer care. And you'll see more, I'll talk a little bit more about innovation as you start to think about how companies grow. And both Morgan and I are from companies that have been around over 100 years. There's been so much growth and development over that time, and companies go through, transitions to sort of stay up to date and relevant. And so when I talk a little bit later on about innovation, you'll kind of see what's happening there. So what we do, one of our biggest markets are golf courses, right? So one of the biggest areas of our product is the golf industry, whether it's, different mowers, different things that stripe the golf course. If you look at some of the golf courses and you can see all the stripes and things like that, all of that stuff are products that we do. You also saw some in the little bits of the video, you also saw some of our underground construction products, some that I'm super proud of and you can dig into out on YouTube. We have Ditch Witch, which is a great big, you'll see the great big Ditch Witch orange machines out in the world. But we also have one where you can cure pipes that maybe are broken or failing you can cure them without digging them up underground, and cure them with blue light technology. So it helps protect the earth, so we're not digging up and doing, you know, all kinds of different things. So that's kind of a cool, one of our cool companies that does that. And then residential products, you know, if you have a lawnmower or a snowblower, there's a pretty good chance that it could be a Toro. And as I mentioned, landscape contractors, we have a number of different brands that support landscape contractors. Exmark is one of them. Ventrac is one of them. They're really cool tractors at Ventrac. We also have rental and specialty construction. Sports fields and grounds, you saw the Twins stadium is one of them, but you know, our equipment is on many, many popular sports fields. Snow and ice management, and then agriculture. We have a whole division related to agriculture, irrigation and agriculture. So there's a lot that we do. We're really proud of our culture, and that, you know, I think a lot of companies might say, oh, we're pretty, you know, we have a great culture. I feel really pleased to be able to share from my chair in talent acquisition that everything that I learned about the culture of TTC was shown to me, right? Everything that I sometimes still ask new hires, like, is everything I told you what you're experiencing, right? I want to make sure that we're providing this good culture to new people who come to the organization. And as you look at your aspirations and the organizations that you would devote your time and energy to, it's important that the cultural values align. And so for us, those people values are respect and trust, teamwork and partnership, empowerment, coaching, recognition, and communication. Several of you talked about, you know, roles in strategic communication, whether it's, you know, in the community, in the world, or even in companies. It's incredibly important to the culture. And then we're a business, we have to do well and perform well. So ways that we do that by doing what we say we will do, building growth and profitability, focusing on our customers, embracing some risk, creating and leveraging innovation, and continuously improving. And all of us have these values as parts of our employment reviews and assessments. So it's kind of really important to continue to build that culture. I will say one of the reasons that I joined the Toro company was the way that I saw the CEO of the company talk to, interact with, recognize employees in the company. He is a very down-to-earth person. He's very friendly. If he's getting his lunch at the cafe, he's talking to you just like anybody else. He's very open and treats people very respectfully. And so he sets that tone from the top. And so that's one of the things that I appreciate about the culture. The other thing that I appreciate is we are on a journey to continue to improve our diversity. One of the things being a 100-year-old company started here in Minnesota. We have an opportunity, and there's no other way to say it other than that we have set some specific goals to increase women in leadership and also racial and ethnic minorities. I think the industry, golf courses, lawnmowers, snow blowers, snow plows, big underground digging equipment was originally pretty male dominated. And so we are working to make some changes in that. So we have two employee resource groups today. Our TTC WIN is our Women's Initiative Network, and then we have leading, emerging, and advancing professionals for some of our early in career folks. And then we have 4 diversity, equity, and inclusion pillars. And most recently, just in the last several months, we hired a new role to our organization, Senior Manager of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And she is was a professor in Texas who wanted to get back into being a practitioner. So I think some of you have shared kind of similar types of, aspirations. Perhaps you're a practitioner, wants to go into education, which is what she did, and now she's coming back out to work in the business. And then we have another new hire to help us continue on our journey to have a really diverse, equitable, and inclusive environment where everybody feels like they belong and wants to continue to choose TTC. We also have giving and volunteerism. Everybody gets 20 paid hours a year for volunteering. And we have a matching gift program, and we have a team event program. So there's a lot of opportunities to build culture. So I think I mentioned our family of brands. I think this slide will it advance, Lisa? Oh, yeah. There's probably a gap in that. I'll send you a new presentation, Lisa, where that works better. As you can see, we are a global company. We have over 10,000 employees globally. About 75% of our employee population is in our production. We call it integrated supply chain. So everything from securing the products and making the products, all of that is in our integrated supply chain team. And about 75% of our employees work in our production facilities. The other 25% work in our office type roles. But as you can see, we're spread out in a number of countries, many here in the US, several of them in the Midwest. And as I mentioned, and I don't know how the video will work, but I'd encourage you to check this out. We are developing and growing to really be more of a technology company. And that might sound a little interesting when you start thinking about that, but you'll see on the screen to your left, there's a vehicle. It looks like a mower. It's an autonomous golf course mower. It mows the golf course without human intervention. And so we are continuing to build products that, use technology. So a lot of our roles are in thinking about things that don't even exist yet today, but things that are, whether it's electrical engineering, robotics, software engineering. I got an irrigation system this summer, and I could control it if I figured out how, but I know people that'll help me, but I can control it by my phone, and as you start to think about how we continue to do that, we expect that in certain other areas of our life, right? I can turn on my thermostat and off with my phone. I could turn on my alarm system on and off with my phone. Never thought about turning on my irrigation on and off with my phone. But then coming out later this year, we'll also even have a residential version of an autonomous lawnmower that basically you can start with your phone. You can set it up. It'll do your yard every day. It'll just keep your grass clipped. And so we'll see how that goes. I think there's a lot of people standing in line for that, but we were kind of joking internally that people would really like a snowblower that did itself. Not, because mowing the lawn is kind of nice out, but the snow could be a little tricky. But we are working hard on setting the standard for the future and investing in research and development and technology.
All right.
See if it works. Is
that working?
There's no sound, but you can see for a second that you can kind of see the process of how it just is mowing the greens. You can advance, Lisa. But if you are interested, again, these are.
We'll figure this out. I think, yeah. But and you know what, AJ, if you could capture these videos to send out in the post-work email, that would be great. We're just having technical difficulties, which I think we did last time too. So we need to figure this out. And
no problem. I have the deck pulled up too, but I think they are available on YouTube. So AJ, I can pull the links from YouTube and send them to you so you don't have to poke around and watch all of the Toro videos on YouTube. We have a lot of influencers, which is also something I didn't really know, but there's a lot of influencers who love working with our products and things like that. So
yeah, well, I will vote for the snowblower automated machine thing, although I don't do the snow blowing. My husband does, but I'm sure that could be just a heck of a, I don't know, 30-year anniversary gift, which we'll have our 30-year anniversary on April 9th. So
I don't think we'll be ready for your 30th anniversary, Lisa, but who knows? I have no idea what's on the roadmap, but
well, you can tell them that's what we need, and that's probably when we're going to have our last blizzard. So
probably, right? And it's so interesting, just as a side note, because our products, you know, a lot of things you can kind of pay attention, you know, based on the weather. So here in Minnesota, you know, we've had so much snow, but other parts of the country where we also have a real high, you know, customer base did not get as much snow as they used to, or that they typically do. So here we are sitting at headquarters thinking like, this must be the best year ever. But there are other parts of the country that did not have the snow that we have. So.
All right. Well, you want to talk about sustainability, and then I think we're going to take a break and then come back and Morgan's gonna jump in.
Okay. Then the last thing that I'll share with you all is that sustainability is not a new concept for the Toro company. It's deeply rooted in our purpose. And we have, that's what it was, people, product, and process. I missed one of the P's and I just couldn't think of it. But we have 3 strategic pillars, and we're always looking at how we can continue to be sustainable in all of those areas. So it's been it's in the fabric of our company, and I'm really proud of that. So it's just another part of the culture and things about our organization that are important to share. You can, in the interest of time, Lisa, these are just slides that we can share after. It just talks a little bit more about who we are. And then the last thing that I would say is, you know, there's several different types of jobs available, whether it's engineering, IT, HR. We have, you know, as Lisa mentioned early on, if there are people who are looking to get into a manufacturing career, we have many, many manufacturing jobs throughout the country. We have some here, skilled manufacturing here in Shakopee, and some other in Windham, Minnesota. But a lot of our jobs available here at our headquarters are engineering and IT and technology type roles. And then I'll send you, AJ, I'll send you an updated link for that as well, with the how to apply for a job at TTC.
Okay, that would be great.
And I will say the job application for the Toro company as well as Japs-Olson is very straightforward. So that's another thing that we look for in our employer partners, is an easy way to apply. So thank you, Vianne. And we're just 3 minutes until 7 o'clock. So we're going to take a 5-minute break. We could maybe go a little bit over that. And then Morgan's going to come back and talk about her organization. And then we're going to devote the rest of the time to Q&A. Hi, everyone. Are we all back? I know 5 minutes goes really fast. So we are very excited to have Morgan with us from Japs-Olson Company. Morgan, I think you're able to share your slides. Do we want to check? There you go.
I think
He's a pro.
there.
All right, perfect.
Let's see. All right. Should I wait a sec or get going?
Let's see here. AJ, let's take a quick look here. I think we have everybody. I think everyone's back.
Sounds good. If not, they can trickle in.
Yeah. And then AJ, do we want to, before Morgan starts, do we want to ask people to come on camera and do a screenshot for LinkedIn?
I believe that would be great. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyone who can, I think we have most, let me see here. I see almost everyone who joined us earlier. So if people can come on screen for a screenshot for LinkedIn, that would be great.
Okay, so the break was for 5 minutes. I'm not sure that everybody might be back by now.
Yeah, I think we went a little past 5 minutes, so.
Okay, so in order for me to take a screenshot, so Morgan should reshare her screen, or we could take the screenshot after that Morgan's done with the presentation.
Can you stop there? I think.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I got some good screenshots.
Sweet. All right. Is it back up now?
It is.
Okay,
Yep,
awesome.
great.
Hi, everyone. I'm Morgan. It's been awesome hearing about all of your experience, and my presentations, Diane killed it, so I won't be quite as follow up from that, but it'll be short and then we'll have time for questions. But it's been fun learning about all of you and a little bit, let's see if it's gonna let me. So a little bit about Japs-Olson Company. We are a direct mail and commercial printing company. We are based in St. Louis Park, right on the bus line on Excelsior Boulevard. So I'm in Uptown and it's about 10 minutes from here every day, so not too bad. That is the only location that we do have of Japs-Olson. So everything's done out of that facility with the front office, production, the whole start to finish. As Lisa mentioned, and Diane about Toro, we are over 100 years old. So we were founded in 1907, and we are still family owned by the same family group that started the company in 1907. So it's pretty special that we still have that tight-knit group, and the family group works out of the office every day as well. So it's a very open door policy. And I was relating to when Diane was saying when the CEOs and the lunchroom and stuff, ours is a very similar feel as far as, you know, he's the ownership groups walking around in the front office and they're always on the floor wherever, and they might ask how your family's doing, how certain different life events. So we have 700 employees in that facility, but they all make a very conscious effort to get to know you and make sure that you feel seen. So it's a great place. The building that we do have is about 720,000 square feet, so it's pretty big. That does include all of the production floor as well as the front office. We have about, give or take, 100 people in the front office and the rest are out on the production floor. I think the last thing on here was we have over 25 languages spoken at Japs-Olson. So as Lisa mentioned as well, we have been partnering with a lot of refugee and asylum status individuals, immigrants to Minnesota back since the Vietnam War. So that's when it all started. And we were able to take in a lot of the Vietnamese individuals who came to Minnesota and were looking for work. And since then, we've helped out different immigrant groups that have come to Minnesota, and most recently, the Afghan group, community, as well as the Ukrainian community. So it's been fun to get to know a lot of different people and backgrounds. I won't get too deep into this slide, but I'm sure it will get sent out, or Lisa will get it to you somehow. This was just kind of a little layout of how we got to where we are today. So when we started in 1907, it was just a small press and machine, and then it goes down the line of when we welcomed our Southeast Asian refugees to reunite with their families in Minnesota, and then kind of a little bit through the firsts that we've gotten to have in the industry, and then where we are at today. So a little bit more about what we do. I know saying that we are direct mail and commercial printing you might not know what that means exactly. So every thing that you get in your mailbox is produced at a printing facility, and we account for about 1 in 6 pieces of mail that people in the United States receive in their mailbox. So we handle everything from start to finish for that entire process. So we work very closely with the U.S. Postal Service as well as clients, and making sure everything is done correctly start to finish. So with that being said, we have quite a few different departments and roles within our company. If you think of everything that has to be done from the moment that a new client's picked up, or even beyond that on the sales side of obtaining those clients, and then down to it being delivered to your individual mailbox. And our client base, we have a little over 300 different clients we work with throughout the country, and we produce over 1 billion pieces of mail each year. So these are just a few of the different employment opportunities that we have at Japs-Olson. It's very, like I said, tight knit, and we're very welcome to finding something to help you like succeed in a position that you're looking to do. So just because you don't see something on the screen that you're interested in, I encourage you to reach out, and maybe there's something we can find within the company that better fits your skill set or your interests. And also, as Diane said, you're all welcome to find me on LinkedIn, look through connections. I'm always happy to put you in contact with anyone that you see on there, or if you ever need like questions, support, guidance, resumes, anything, we're here to help. So a few of the opportunities: print production coordinators, those would be like account managers. So if you have a interest in business, a business degree, you're working towards that, that would be a great stepping stone for you. So it's a role that you can really learn the entire process of being a account manager, project manager. You're following that start to finish, and you're really taking control of the entire project. Customer service support, those are going to be very detail orientated. So they're going to be doing the quality checks, pulling different stuff from the floor, working alongside pretty much every department to make sure that it's up to the standards for our clients and customers. If you are more of a math person, you like working with numbers, our estimator role is going to be something that would probably spark some interest for you. They're the ones that are estimating the job cost for everything that goes along with it. So whether it's the cost of product we're going to need to buy, the ink that we're going to be using, the cost that it'll be to print the product. So it's very numbers, and there's also creative side because you get to, if you think of a better way to do it, you're encouraged to come up with those. So it's also creative thinking or how you can better the process. Data programmers. So these are going to be, again, if you like working with data, numbers, information, these are going to be the people that are making sure all the information being sent out to the production floor is correct. So in those billion pieces of mail each year, think when you receive it, the envelope, the letter inside, it all has your specific information and name, address on it. And so to keep up with that, we have to have a team that is keeping a close eye and going through all of that information to make sure that it's aligned correctly. On the other side, there's pre-press operators. So they're going to be, if you're more into like the design, creative art side of things, this would be a good option for you. These are going to be people that are making sure color, design, layout, all of that stuff is looking correct before it's sent out to the production side of things. So we don't do the actual design. So let's say we get a mock-up from a bank or I'm looking outside and I see Target. Let's say Target sends something and they're going to send us their design, and then we're going to make sure that all of the specifics for that design will get printed correctly, but we're not going to make the whole design ourselves, if that makes sense. On the production side, as you heard, that top half, that's only about 1/6 of our employees. So the production side has more than I even have listed to offer. The maintenance technicians are going to be, if you like working with tools, you like problem solving, troubleshooting, this will be a great option. So they're going to be doing all of the maintenance, preventative, and then also after the fact out on our floor, and then anything up front or with the building. So they're the ones really holding us together as a company with keeping it all running. For our machine operator roles, we have quite a few programs for those, and we have everything from entry level. Let's say you have a degree in business and you're like, this just really isn't what I see myself doing. We are always open to having you make that change. If you want to learn a different part of an industry, we're happy to train you and teach you. So the machine operator roles can truly be from ground zero of being very new to that world to being very high level experienced and able to run those multi-million-dollar pieces of equipment on your own at some point. Lastly, another one I wanted to mention to get a full variety is we have a full IT and IS department. So we are always hiring for that as well. And our IS department, if you're into software development, that type of thing, we build all of our software internally. So they get to use that software engineering creative side for that role and build that up. And then besides that, they're always working to create better systems for our company to use. So those are just a few of the different areas that we have. I wanted to show that there's a wide variety depending on your interest. There's obviously more in-depth roles if you're accounting or recruiting, anything that you're more interested in, purchasing, scheduling, we've got it. Was just kind of an overview of what we've got. So a little bit about employee benefit packages. I just wanted to put a couple highlights on here. Again, there's more to it, but just wanted to not overwhelm everyone. We offer very competitive pay and benefits. So along that is progression paths. So those are something we put in place for every single department. So if you come in at a level 1, every single month the managers meet with the team leads and they review the progress of each employee in their department to see if they're ready to move up to that next level. And obviously that comes with higher pay, more responsibility. So it's just a way for us to make sure that no one's getting lost in the shuffle of 700 people, and that everyone's staying accounted for, and that they're getting that recognition and upward movement that they deserve. We have openings in pretty much all of our departments, especially for all of you through this program. We really value that you're working with us. So if you don't see something posted, we're always open to talking about it and finding a home for you in Japs-Olson. Out on the production side of things, we do offer 8 and 12-hour shift options. We know that people have different home life circumstances, anything of that sort, whether you're taking the bus, sharing a car, have childcare. So there's 8-hour shifts and 12-hour. There's also shifts that run only Monday through Friday for those 8 hours or 12 hours, and then some that do more of a rotating schedule. So you might work for 3 days and then get 4 days off, work for 4, get 3 off. So lots of options to help accommodate any of your like out of work needs, and hopefully find a schedule that could work for you. We also have lots of overtime, especially in the fall when we get really busy. It's never really mandatory, so you'll never be forced to put in overtime work, but it's just nice to know that there's those opportunities for some extra cash if you need, and also that there's never a lack of work. We're still growing and doing well, so there's that nice stability there as well. Along with the progression paths that I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of on-the-job training. Has been a big focus for us lately. So each department has specific trainers for each shift, and they're going to be people that you're paired with that have a checklist to go through to make sure you're getting that support experience that you need. Along with that, we have we call them our go-to people for each language that Japs-Olson has on each shift. So they're English and second language bilingual. So that way you're able to have that training without the language barrier and really get yourself to that next level that sometimes can be a bit challenging. Along with the on-the-job training, each department has an engagement specialist. So that person's dedicated role is to make sure just checking in with employees, figuring out what they can do to make the experience better, what's being looked over, everything of that sort. And then I meet with each of those engagement specialists every few weeks to make sure that it's being relayed on to everyone else, what we can do to make it a better experience all around. We also have flexible career paths. So if you wanted to come in as a machine operator and you realize I really love the data processing side of things, there's never going to be anyone holding you back from transferring departments, moving around. We want you to find what works best for you and go to wherever you see yourself growing, or even if it's from the data side into an account manager side, we're always encouraging internal movement, and we always look internally for any promotions or stuff like that. So and then we also are doing stay on and referral bonuses up to between $1,000 and $6,000 right now. So just a little like added bonus that we have going on. And then this was a little bit more on the actual benefit side. So we have very affordable medical insurance. For a single individual, it's around $19 per week. So very affordable. We try to make sure that it's accessible and available to all of our employees, no matter where you're at. We want everyone to have access to it. We also have a 401k with contributions, as well as life insurance policy, and then a health savings account, which Japs-Olson contributes a 2-to-1 match to as well. A few other things that partnerships we have. So Blue Cross Blue Shield, ADP discounts, Fairview employee assistance for emotional health, therapy sessions, and paid time off and sick time, obviously. So that was just a super quick overview, and I talked really fast, but lots of moral of it is lots of different opportunities and roles, and a new industry to learn and get to know that most people probably don't have much experience with or even think about how mail gets to your house. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a good place. We have a lot of fun together and do a lot of different events. And like I said, it really, our ownership group and management group just like makes a world of a difference with their ability to make it very like homey and family like and accepting. So besides that, here's my information. Feel free to email me, reach out on LinkedIn. It's just my first and last name. You can always give me a call, even text me. I'm always available if you have questions or need guidance, support. As Vianne said as well, we're just here to help, even if you aren't interested in working with us, but need someone to bounce ideas, or you can come in and do a practice interview or bring in your resume, like anything that you need, we can find time for. And then, yeah, that's about it for me.
Oh, Morgan, thank you so much. And Vianne, thank you. You're both so generous with your time and your talent and offering to connect with our participants. And I hope you all, maybe not right now, but the minute we end this session, you should be pinging Vianne and Morgan on LinkedIn to connect with them. And at this point, you probably don't even need to do the little message. You can just do like connect and they'll connect with you.
You can just send me an invite. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a scary thing of having to come up with a message or anything. Just, you can send me an invite to connect and I'll accept it.
I love that because I always wonder that. Yeah, thank you, Vianne and Morgan, because I'm always like, LinkedIn is like, it would be better if you sent a message. And I'm like,
no.
What do I say?
I've been in that.
Guys, there you go. Tons of networking right now.
We've already met you all, so it's okay. You can do it without.
They'll recognize they wrote all your names down. I don't know if you saw that. So let's have some Q&A. You guys, you have two amazing talent acquisition leaders in front of you. What do you want to ask? All right, I'll start. If you're not going to start, I'll start because I never quit learning, even though I've been in there's like I quit counting at 25 years. So, Vianne and Morgan, to get this started, I would like to ask you both to weigh in on the importance of a resume being, because these are all professionals, super talented, you know that now. How much weight do you put on the format and kind of the gravity of a professional resume when you first read it?
Diane, do you want to go or do you?
Sure. I can go. The resume is critically important. It is, in some cases, maybe the only introduction, your only opportunity to kind of get through to the recruiters that are kind of that first layer of screening. But even after they have screened it and they like it, sometimes they'll share it with the manager. So a hiring manager is also scanning the resume. So to the extent that you can make it clear and easy to read, actions that you have taken to, in your previous roles that they can see this person could do the work that we're looking for them to do. We look at a lot of resumes and decisions are made on those resumes. So I would take every bit of advice that Lisa has given you and your resume coaches are giving you, and I would run, not walk, to having people that know me well review and say, does this capture me? And I will say personally that I had a season where I was looking for work, and I had probably one of the same coaches that you had, or somebody. I know some of the people that volunteer with you are the same people that the company I left paid a lot of money to get some of their skills to help me write my resume. And so I would say follow that format, do those things that people are asking you as it relates to the resume, because it's your introduction. It could be the thing that opens a door for you.
Yeah, I would say I agree with everything Bayan said, but actually just today I was interviewing or sitting in on an interview, and a young man that he hasn't worked and said his resume showed that he hadn't worked in 3 years, and I was just talking to him about it. He's like, well, I've actually been in charge of and running my family's farmers market stand, doing all the business side of it, but I didn't think it seemed important to put. And I was like, put it. Like, I encourage everyone to put everything that could be relevant in any way that shows other skills that you have to have: management skills, time management, people skills, money skills. There's so many different things that go into something that you might think, just because it's not within that role, shouldn't be there, but there's always a way to make it applicable and that you've learned something. Another thing that we work with a lot of immigrants and people new to the country. Sometimes individuals for us, I've seen, are hesitant to put anything or explain a lot of what they did in their home country. And I would encourage you to put anything, everything, whether it's languages or courses you've taken that could be beneficial. Just because it was in your home country doesn't mean it's not applicable to the jobs you're trying to get here. So I just encourage you to put anything, everything. And I know Lisa stresses that with you guys as well. So again, she knows best.
Well, I don't know everything. I just know from working with a lot of amazing people and a lot of amazing employers. So thank you both. So do we have any questions from our group? Oh, Keaton, I see your hand is raised.
Thank you so much, Morgan and Bian. I hope I got your names correctly.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. I listened to your presentation carefully, and I'm very appreciative. And I believe even if I don't fall within that category, my colleagues around here, we have had many of them with engineering background. I hope that will be an opportunity for them. But nevertheless, we don't stop learning. As Lisa said, it could also be an environment, an opportunity for some of us to develop a career, by being trained. Based on an experience, having moved to the United States of America and having worked back home, there is something that I find a little bit, probably will help explain this. Most of the contracts, I don't know if it's most or maybe because of where I worked, contracts within seems not to be binding employment contracts. It gives employer more opportunity of power of an employee in terms of laying off staff, or what extent can an employee possess that authority, not authority as such, but have that control over. Having listened to you and working with immigrants, I know that some of our countries really, it's not about the employer having power over employee, but it's about making sure that, the job is giving equal opportunity, equal rights, be it to the employer or be it to the employee. So listening to your companies, to what extent, or what are you doing to ensure that contracts are binding, not giving much power to the employer than the employees. That is one. And then two, I would like to understand from your companies, what is your level of retention, of employee retention? And capacity building, you did mention it, but to what extent do you build employees' capacity? Thank you.
Those are all good questions. I'll take a stab at a couple of them. So I think things vary from country to country in terms of employment and whether there's employment contracts or agreements. Here in Minnesota, and you know, one of the ways that we would describe it is employment is at will. So the employer could make a decision, as long as it's not for a discriminatory reason or some other illegal reason, the employer could make a business decision to say, these are roles that we no longer need. We're changing something in the organization. We're selling a part of the business, or something is happening, right? So you'll see, in my case, my job went away because our companies merged and you didn't need two of the work that I did. So there's that opportunity, but then I too have the opportunity to say, this isn't the company that I want to work for anymore. I want to go on and work somewhere else. So it's kind of that, like you described, it's the employers and the employee have the opportunity to decide to part ways. So that's how that kind of operates. An employer can make decisions as long as it's a legitimate business reason. They can't do things that are illegal or discriminatory in terms of making decisions to let people go. So I wanted to answer that question. And then from a retention perspective, for us, it really varies based on the type of role. So in some of our production facilities, the turnover rate could be, so the retention rate is probably, 75%, depending on the location or the type of work or the environment, the competitive environment. But in some of our professional roles, the turnover rates are very, very low. There's people 40 or more years in the company. So it really is dependent on the type of job and the environment and the work. So that's why when Morgan and I have been talking about the culture, like so much work. I loved her note on the engagement specialist. I was like, oh, that is a good idea. There's people that make it their daily job and their work to ensure that employees are feeling good about their job. They feel comfortable. They know that they've been trained well. If they have a question, a problem, a concern, they have somebody that they can bring it to. So it's building that culture is to ensure that we have good retention of our employees. And I think I got your questions, Morgan. I don't know what else you want to add.
No, that sounded good. Our retention is about 78% company-wide. It's very high for the professional side, as I feel like I'm just repeating the same stuff, but most people started their career there and have been there 40 years or so. On the production side, there is a bit more turnover, but that is more common with that side of work. And so we did increase by 18% in the last year, I believe, for which it was COVID times as well, but with stuff that we've put in place, like the engagement and checking in and more company culture stuff. For example, we don't have like a lunchroom on site or anything, but we did a holiday party where we had 6 different origins of foods that we had brought in, and everyone got to choose what they wanted. And so just trying to recognize, appreciate all the different cultures instead of just making it one thing or another. So just trying to do little things to improve the retention overall, and hopefully be over 80% this year, but I think everything Vianne said hit spot on as far as the contracts and all of that as well. So.
And Charity, I see your hand is raised. What is your question? And Raina, thank you for being here. And we know that you have to leave. Thank you.
No, thank you, ladies, Vienna and Morgan. I guess my question is towards both of you guys, but more towards Toro. So Vienna, you might be better able to answer the question. But Morgan, I'm sure you will too. It's more towards technology. I know how you mentioned with Toro, how Toro is growing in technology and becoming where honestly machine run, right? So what are potentially things in future employees can do to better fit into that kind of industry going forward? Is there like certain certifications you think people should have? What should we have on our resume that'll make it look like, oh, this person's prepared for the future, you know?
That's a really good question, Charity. I think as I think about I think it's, I don't know the best way to describe this, but it's things that can show that you've adapted and changed and grown, because we don't even know necessarily what some of those things of the future will be. Like, I don't think some of the people that are running our robotics part of the organization, when they started working, that probably wasn't even a thing, right? So they have had to grow and adapt and change and be continuous learners. So the things that I would say would be a continuous learner, show adaptability and those kind of things. And then of course, in certain types of work, right, that in like technology roles and things like that are turning into that, have you taken additional courses or opportunities for learning as you've gone through your career, right? So when you're kind of putting together your resume, you are sharing, you know, you've done this different coursework, but you've added in some additional like project management certification or different, I'm trying to think, and I can't, because I am not technical very much. There's some of the different programs that people are taking, like a boot camp and things like that, that help them, you know, learn some additional skill sets. And so adding that. So I think it's showing that continuous learning. What would you say, Morgan?
Yeah, again, I'm not as much on the technical side. Masterclass is a great resource. LinkedIn Learning. Those are both great resources to learn those. I think also just putting anything and expressing that on a resume, or just getting as in-depth as you can, would be beneficial. So I'm not super technical side, so I'm like the worst person for that. But.
No, that's okay.
Our HR is showing.
Me and technology don't go well together, but you know. But thank you so much, ladies.
Yeah, no, thank you. Sorry, it's not more helpful.
No, it's okay.
That's awesome. Oh, Eden, you have a question.
Yeah, it's just a follow-up question based on what my colleague said, Charity, and I think before I mentioned probably didn't come out about trainings. There are companies that probably can recruit you from nothing, train you, and you have contracts with them where you'll work with them for some years, but you will get the skills that you want. And that will probably help people who cannot afford to pay their tuition, maybe upgrade, go back to school. Do you have these programs with you, or what kind of trainings do you offer?
I can share a couple. So one of the things that we seek to continue to find in the world are welders. So we are starting a weld school program. So employees who, and right now it's 2 employees, but it will be expanded out. Employees who want to learn that skill, it's a higher paid skill. We will send them to the weld school. We will pay for their schooling. We will pay for their travel and their stay at the weld school. And we'll pay them their wage while they're there to learn the skill that they need so that they can then move into that welding program. And so that's one example of things that, you know, companies are doing all throughout the country to try to help grow in skill development, because it's very, very difficult to find skilled workers in some of those fields. So that's one of the things. And then the other thing that we offer, and I'm sure a lot of other companies offer, is tuition reimbursement. So many of our employees have had the opportunity to change career by going back to school or getting a degree in something paid for by the company. And the only contractual arrangement that we have on that is if you leave the organization within a year, you have to pay it back. If you leave within 2 years, you have to pay half of it back. So it's not a long-term connection, but what I would say is those programs create a lot of engagement, and people intend to stay because they've had that opportunity.
Sorry, I have a 6-month-old kitten that I've never worked.
We love the kitties. We love the kitties.
They're welcome.
The doggies and the babies. Hi, baby. What's her name?
Her name is Fifi. I've never worked from home, so she's really confused by what's going on, and she's being a little menace. So, but similar, for our maintenance roles, we will pay for individuals to work with us while they're in school, and then we will pay for their education at Hennepin Tech or any school that has the program. So we offer that. And then we also opportunities if there's conferences for learning development or career development, we always support anyone going to those. And then I'm just blanking out. There's not schools that really teach like press operators anymore or anything. So we really do like on the job training more or less for that, just because there's not really the opportunities anymore to send people to a school for that. But if there's ever continuing education, we bring people in or are happy to send anyone. So yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is great. I think we're gonna transition to our closing unless anyone has any final questions. I don't see hands up. Any last questions? And you can
Well, I
always-
actually have a question.
Oh.
Yeah.
AJ,
So
question.
yeah, it's for both of you. So I'm currently a student of software engineering, but I'm also planning on pursuing a boot camp on data science, which is going to be for 7 months. And I've heard, like, as I did my research in the internet, that boot camp graduates are getting into work, the technology boot camp graduates. So how do you guys see it? Do you guys hire boot camp graduates?
I think any knowledge and experience we are open to looking at, just because it's not a degree, it's a boot camp. At least for us, we go through each resume. We don't necessarily have a system that just kicks them out. So we're able to individually look at that and see each person, and that combined with your degree is amazing experience and knowledge, more than most people have. So I think it would only be a positive and benefit you with your career. I don't see it holding back or hindering any job that you would be getting. So
yeah, but what if a person doesn't have a degree and only has a boot camp, like only finished a boot camp?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misheard that. I'd say it just depends on the position and the company. Some companies are more willing to be flexible, and sometimes that experience or boot camp experience can make up for like a year of work experience or something. So it can be a trade-off. But if it's a higher level position or required by the company for some reason, then I think you just apply and try to, and even if it's not exactly what they have down, they might have a different role in mind that could be a good fit or more entry level. So at least for us, that's kind of what I would say.
Thank you, Morgan.
Exactly. I wouldn't even change a word to what Morgan said. And it's true. I mean, it is true in this. We really look at everybody's application too. There's not like so many applicants that we're not trying to look at everybody and their skills and the things they bring. And I think the boot camp is additive. And just like Morgan said, there are some jobs where the degree is required. And so maybe the boot camp wouldn't be the only thing that is needed, but some jobs it would be okay to have just the boot camp. So it really depends on the requirements of the job.
There's like 2 times as many jobs open as there are people right now. So I tell my friends, I tell you guys, like anyone, like apply, like, and you have a better chance of getting a job than not. And if it's not a perfect alignment, they'll do their best. You never know who knows people either. They might know of, or if one of you were to apply, I could be like, oh, I remember Vianne said this, and pass it along to her. So I just encourage everyone to apply because there's so many openings and so few people right now.
I would add to that too. I think that the recruiter community, we just want people to find their gig, the one that fits them and the one that they're happy in. And so the sharing across recruiting is not uncommon. It's, hey, I know this person over here and let me connect you. So that's just part of the DNA of recruiters, I think, is to share.
Yeah.
In Minnesota for sure. In Minnesota for sure. So networking. We've been talking about it for 10 weeks. Stas, you have your hand up. What's your question, sir?
My question is about software. What are you using on your work? CRM system, ERP system, maybe something for accountant.
So we do all of our software development internally for all of our systems. So it wouldn't be anything anyone's heard of, because we have the developers that formatted it to, that way they can be nitpicky and pick and choose the parts that they liked from some stuff from the other and make it into one thing that works best with our company and our system. So I don't have a great answer because the software that we use is all built from the ground up internally, which is cool, but not beneficial for us answer for you. I'm sorry. And thank
Morgan, do
you for
you
being
then
with us.
train? Then what skills do you look for? Because if it's all custom internal development, what skills do you look for when you're hiring people to come into that area?
Yeah, any of the software development experience, any of the software development degrees or information systems, software analyst, software developer, even IT, information technology, really anything within that realm, and people that have experience working on software. I know it's not common for companies to do that, so we don't require that you have experience building it from the ground up, but maybe experience working on the software at another company or at school or doing boot camps about it, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I couldn't even begin to tell you all the different software throughout the organization, but probably some of the bigger named things like SAP or Salesforce, or so there's some big software that we use.
ADP.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's definitely some, but there's also a lot of development of software that we want to run our products. So kind of the same skills that Morgan was sharing.
Yeah, thank you. That is what I was waiting for. I always thinking that you are working on SAP, so I understand it. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us. I know it's late in Germany, I think you said, so appreciate
No, it's okay for me.
Is it going on like 2 a.m, or where are we at?
Yes.
Must be like 1 a.m.
Hello, Lisa. May I ask one question?
Yes, please do.
Okay. My question is just for both of you, the creators, and then since we are immigrant degree holders, just looking for a better opportunity here in the United States. So when it comes to the degree accreditation, what experience did you really just see in the past in the course of recruiting process? For example, my degree is like international, like outside United States, and then what really just you guys suggest to us an immigrant degree holders, what are missing, what is really just what just make different, like the degree in United States and outside of United States. So in my case, I'm really trying to catch up, like even the course at the content level, and then course to course checking up, and then what is missing in my international, and also what is really just missing here in United States in the same discipline when it comes to degree. So in recruiting this international degree immigrants and other professionals, what have you just checking or see in the course of recruiting process, both? And one more tip, maybe, I'm really just love the landscape in TTC. I mean, that's really very interesting for me since I'm environmentalist. So I like that. Maybe one more thing, how is the research and development really just going on, but in both companies? Thank you.
Sure. The one thing I will say is Lisa made a good point. Degree accreditation is a huge issue in the US, and it can be in particular type based on the type of role. So we require several of our engineering roles require an ABET accredited degree, and that's an accreditation that you get here in the US. So if we're looking at somebody that has an international degree, there's a company that we can work with to evaluate the degree and kind of do what you said, Tarek, is to go through and say, what coursework is the coursework consistent? Is it missing? Is it the same? And actually, as an employer, going through that process takes time, and maybe other companies aren't requiring that same degree. So a person might move along to another company that doesn't have that same requirement. But other types of jobs, other roles, the degree doesn't necessarily need to be an accredited degree, and so then we're not doing that comparison. So it's dependent on the requirements of the job, but it is something that we at TTC do come up against sometimes based on some of the specific technical degrees that we require and the accreditation that we require, down to here's the major, here's the accreditation, and here's what we need to do. So it can be challenging, but going back to Morgan's earlier comments, don't stop from applying because, companies are at different points along their process of trying to figure out how can we get this information, how can we be, as we also speak our DEI goals and things like that, we don't want to run it can sometimes be in conflict, right? And we want to be able to be more welcoming and have other diverse populations, so we don't want to close people off. So we're still open to looking at it, seeing if we can evaluate the degree and make sure if it fits. But so there's that piece. And I think you had a second question, and I had a great idea, but I don't remember what it was.
If you think of the second one, Tarek, you can chime in and cut me off and ask, but I was going to say, we're a little bit smaller, quite a bit smaller. So we don't have as many of the strict rules or even the higher level engineers. So none of our roles need a specific accreditation. So a lot of the times, if we see a degree, I might do some research on the university to see what the coursework's like, just because I'm not as familiar with the international degrees or coursework. So I'll do my own research sometimes, but we don't have any rules that hold back for any of our positions. You know, to us, a degree in any country is probably gonna transfer over, and you have that knowledge. So whatever works for us. We're pretty laid back.
Okay, good.
Oh, that's awesome. You have both, Vianne and Morgan, you are amazing, and we're so honored that you're our employer partners. AJ, do you want a quick wrap up with, it's gonna be like really boring after this amazing conversation, but I think AJ has some quick wrap up that we need to do.
Yeah, I believe we have 2 minutes and I would be able to do that in that 2
Right.
minutes. So next week we have our program wrap-up session. So the postword for you guys would be connect with Vianne and Morgan on LinkedIn. And I'm going to set up an individual debrief session with you and Lisa. And also I'll be sending invites next week. So keep an eye on that. And finally, fill interview and negotiating offers assessment, as I missed it last week to send it. Sorry, Lisa. Sorry, participants. So I'm going to send it tomorrow in the post-program email. And I believe we're done, Lisa.
All right. Anything else from anyone? We've got 1 minute left. If any of you have questions, please just send them to
Can I go
AJ and I, and
really
we'll
quick?
get them. Yes. Hi, Charity. Yep.
Okay. Hey. Okay. So this
Go for it.
isn't not so much a question, but kind of to get your thoughts and ideas on it. But Vienna, you gave us an example of giving and volunteerism and how Toro does 20 paid hours a year, I believe. How does that work within the organization? Because I think that would be a great thing to incorporate within other organizations as well.
Yeah, so what we do is you can basically, it's just like it's kind of on your honor, really, in that you say, you ask for your supervisor, hey, I'm gonna be out of the office for 4 hours. I'm gonna go present to a classroom on HR, right? So that might be an example of something that I would do. And then I just come in and I enter, we have a system called Your Cause, and I just enter that I did these 4 hours and I put it in Your Cause. If I was an hourly employee getting paid by the hour, I would put it on my time card as volunteer. So you could, when you're filling out your time card, you could put vacation, you can put volunteer, you could put, whatever the different categories are, and you just put it in your time card.
Okay. Yeah, I'll bring it up to my supervisor. I think that's really amazing, honestly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else before we close out tonight? We'll send everybody the recording of this. I think it was really great information.
Thank you, everyone.
It was a pleasure to meet you all. I'm so excited. Looking forward to connecting.
Morgan.
And Morgan, I'm going to connect with you too.
Have a good night.
Good night.